I turn and a fucking police cruiser is like slowly going down the block. I just look at that police cruiser and I reclined all the way back in my seat like, fuck that. I just closed my eyes. I was like, that's it. They didn't see me.
Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil lay inside your box now while the angels fly over my headstone.
We are back with another episode of the God's Hour podcast with your boy Big Serbs, back in the motherfucking place to be, La Merca Superior, Palace 81 Studios, live in effect, episode 70. I always say it's 60 then 70, but sometimes I say 70, but it's 70. 70, yes. Patricia, recipes to my tia Pati. She passed away on November 9th. I should have brought the little card, but I'll probably put it somewhere over here in the video. But my tia passed away from a bunch of like health complications. I think she was in her 70s herself, like probably mid to late 70s. And it was really sad. Over the weekend, it was her funeral on Saturday, so it was kind of hard and it was really emotional. And the one thing I can say about her passing was she actually lived a full life. It wasn't like Jaime or Josh or Ian or Raul where they all passed away suddenly. All of them were like in their teens. I think Josh was like either 20 or 21. He was like maybe a few years older than me when he passed away. But with my tia, it was kind of like she had already had her children. Their children had children. And, you know, she was a great grandmother when she passed away, which is kind of crazy when I think about it. My cousin Candace, her granddaughter, had her son Jackson, my nephew, when like maybe he's probably like 1 already. He's like, yeah, like probably 1, almost 2, probably like 1.5. So my tia, she was already older, and I just thank God that she had already lived her whole life, and she's seen her kids do well, and their kids, you know, doing well as well. And she was a great grandmother. And the whole time during her funeral, I was getting emotional, but then not that I didn't want to cry, but it was just like, there's no reason to be crying. Like, yeah, I felt sad and shit and like all the emotions and shit, but I just kept like a blank face because I wanted to be strong for like my other family members, because especially all of my tia Pati's children, my tios, it would hit them all hard. Like my tia Betty, my tio Angel, it looked like he was all fucked up over it. Obviously, that's their mom. My tio Jimmy, my tia Laura, and my tia Becky, they were all, you know, it hit them hard. You know, whenever you lose, a parent, it's fucking just hard. You know, it's never easy. I wouldn't know. I pray to God that I don't get to experience that until I'm like old as fuck already. You know what I mean? I love my parents very much. You know, this, like I say, this ain't no dear mama shit. We lived a lot. My parents lived a pretty crazy life, and thank God that they worked hard enough, too damn hard if you ask me, to for a better life. You know what I mean? I live out here in the fucking burbs, and life is good, but with the whole funeral shit, I was trying not to cry. I was trying to be there for like my family members, emotionally supportive. My cousin Mufasa, that's actually my tia Pati is actually his grandmother. My tia Pati and my grandma are sisters, so she'd be like my great aunt or whatever, they say it in the textbooks or whatever. In the family, it doesn't go like that. If it's like if it's not your mom and they're older than you and they're related, that's just your tío, or you know what I mean. That's like your cousin, or however it goes down. We don't do those titles like half brother, step brother. That's just like that's my brother, that's my cousin, that's my tío, that's my tía. We don't really go to we don't do the whole titles type shit. So I just kind of wanted to give this space to like celebrate because there's a lot of shit we got to cover. I'm basically covering one day in this episode, so it's not like the other episodes where I'm talking about this, that, or like one night. We're just covering the day, and I just want to celebrate my tia's life. You know what I mean? Have this space because my grandma and my tío John, my tío Willie, right? Tío Willie was the youngest brother. Yeah, so my tío Willie is the youngest brother from there. So we have my grandma, my tío John, my tia Pati, and my tío Willie is the youngest of them. And so I just want to create this space to just, celebrate their lives. They live good and long lives. Most of them. I know my tío Willie, even though he was shot, around 20 years old, he still lived on until he was 36, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. But besides him, everyone's like already old. Everyone's already like, getting around that age where it's kind of like the whole time we were there at the funeral, I was just thinking of my grandma and how it's gonna go down. It's gonna hit my grandma though is gonna hit me a lot harder. This hit me hard, my tia passing away, because my tia saved my life, bro. My tia literally, when I was drinking and I was drinking heavy and shit at my tia Laura's house, sometimes I would drive home, bro. I would literally be drunk driving, fucked up. And on this one particular night, if there was any night I shouldn't have drove and shit, it was this night. And I wanted to go home. Like I didn't like my tia Laura. It's my tia's kids, my tia Betty's kid. At the time, my tia Betty's kids, Mufasa was there, living there, and there's no room. Every bed is fucking took. All the spare beds are taken. All the couches are taken. Like, I didn't want to sleep in my fucking car. Like, what the fuck? So I wanted to go home. And it's probably around, 2, 3 in the morning. And I'm fucked up. I'm probably shit-faced as fuck. Like, probably top 10 times I ever got drunk in my life. I wanted to go home. And my tias are smart, bro. They took my keys and they took my laptop at some point during the night. So I couldn't, I guess in their head, if I didn't have my laptop, I wouldn't go home. I don't know what kind of logic is that, but I get it because I always had the laptop. I was always making beats, making music, playing something for Mufasa. We were always working on something. So I get that. But I remember my tia Pati, she told my tia Laura, I was like, yo, I want to go home, good night, all this shit. And she's like, no, you're going to stay here. Like, you're not driving. There's no way you're going to drive in this state. You're going to, like, she didn't say this, but she was like implying like you're going to fucking crash the car. You're going to get pulled over. Something's going to happen. So I don't know if it was probably half and half. Like, she didn't have a good feeling and she knew I was fucked up. So I stood the night. Nothing happened. I want to say that was the night I slept in my... Oh, no, I didn't sleep in my car because I didn't have my keys. I don't know where the fuck I was. I don't know where I slept. I probably slept... I don't know. They probably pulled out a fucking bed from the Dungeon of Doom or something like that. But I remember waking up the morning after, whatever, and they're like, "Yeah, fool, like you were fucked up, they didn't want to, they don't want you to go home, bro. Like that something could have happened or something like that." But it's just funny because I remember my tia Laura's. I remember getting faded, and I ended up sleeping. I don't know why. I probably just didn't want to drive, but I ended up sleeping in my car, and I had the seat reclined all the way back, so I'm sleeping and shit. And there's a fucking Xena wakes me up. Rest in peace, Xena, my cousin's cat. I hear like a boom 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 on my car. I'm like, what the fuck? And the fucking cat is walking down the windshield of the car. And I remember just waking up and being like, Xena, what the fuck? You just woke me up. And the cat just walks down. I see the cat's paw prints. That's why I love cats. I can't really be around cats. I think I have allergies to cats. Obviously not to Presley or dogs. But some cats and some dogs, or some dogs and cats, I don't know just what it is, the coat and their fur. I don't know what it is, or their pheromones or whatever. But I literally get like rashes and welts. If they lick me, I'll get like fucking crazy shit like rashes. I'll just end up having allergies and shit. I'll need a fucking Benadryl and like a steroid shot or something. But I'm like, Zeno, what the fuck? The cat wakes me up, right? And I don't know what it was, but I had the seat reclined all the way back. So I don't know what made me look up the window, but I turn, and a fucking police cruiser is like slowly going down the block. I just look at that police cruiser, and I reclined all the way back in my seat like, fuck that. I just closed my eyes. I was like, that's it. They didn't see me. Yo, that shit was funny as fuck, bro. But the cops, I seen that as soon as I seen them roll up, I said, fuck that. They ain't gonna try to arrest me or try to question me for whatever. But obviously the cops, thank God they do their rounds or whatever. They probably didn't see me though, because it was nighttime and they had already, maybe they see me pass out in my car, but as they're driving by, the cat, I don't know what it was, but the cat woke me up. I looked to the side and there were the cops. I was like, well, fuck that. I'm asleep, homie. If they try to knock on the window or whatever, I'm fucking gone already. You can't fucking bust me. I'm unconscious, eh? You know what I mean? So just a little quick detour, because this shit, the whole this shit gets pretty emotional for me. So yeah, my tia Pati pretty much saved my life that one night, going back to the night where I got all fucked up. My tia saved my life. And while my tia, I don't know, she still has the house in Pomona, but while we stayed in, she stayed in Pomona with my tia Becky, I would go there a lot with Emma, my niece, her mom, my cousin Amber, Candace, my cousin Sabrina, my sister. Should I even say their names? Whatever. I already said their names. But yeah, my sister, my cousins, my niece, and we would always just hang out there. Like that was a spot. We would fucking chill. Sometimes they would go out, so I would kind of babysit Emma. That only happened a few times. For us, they weren't really like especially as Emma got older, the whole going to clubs and shit died out. So it was basically either my cousin would babysit, or it would be me and my cousin babysitting my niece. And Emma was like, we're talking around, when she was like probably 4. So I'm a teenager at this point. I'm probably like 16. She's like 4 years old. My cousin's only a year older than me. So we're like teenagers. My sister and my cousins are older than not a lot older, but older enough for us, older enough, more than us, for them to go to the club and shit. So like maybe I'll say like not even a handful of times they would go out and we would just stay and watch Emma, and we would probably watch movies or whatever. Like my tia Becky, she had a bunch of VHS movies, so Emma would be watching Sleeping Beauty, the fucking Snow White. She liked all the Disney movies. All the kids love the Disney movies. I like the Goofy movie personally, That was my shit. I also liked Toy Story. What else did I like? Um, what was my shit? Bionicles. You know what I mean? The Mask of Light. Man, all my Bionicles are gone, man. That's fucking lame. But yeah, I just remember being at my tia's house. And my tia was like the sweetest, kindest woman, bro. Like out of all my great tios and all that, like from like my grandma's siblings, she was definitely like the most compassionate. Cause my grandma, the oldest one, uh, my grandma literally had like a third grade education, couldn't go to school, had to help out the family. My grandma and all her siblings were born in Leon, Guanajuato, bro, which is basically like that's where all like we our whole lineage started, at least on that side. From like my great grandma Elvira, I think she was born in Texas, but then they came back to Mexico. So it was crazy, bro. We have like all kinds of family in the US, in Texas. My tío Ricardo, I think he stayed there with his family. Then we have a bunch of family in Mexico. And then I want to say most of us, or the majority of us, stay over here in Cali, just spread out, Laverne, Pomona, Ontario, Westco, fucking Victorville, Bell, fucking cities that I probably don't even know, Lake Elsinore, like, you know what I mean? We taking over Cali, bro, at least Southern Cali. So our family is really big, and at the funeral, it really put it in perspective, because I want to say not even a quarter of people showed up to my tia Pati's funeral, or at least for the most part, the viewing and then the mass, and then the burial. After that, everyone went to my tío John's and we all ate. And so, what is it? Going back to the family is huge, bro. We got, my tío said it. We got Sorias, Garcias, Perez, Jimenez, Chavez. Like there's a Sosa. There's literally branches and branches and branches off of just my grandmother, my tia Pati, and all all of them. Crazy, bro. Literally, I was seeing people I've never seen in my life, haven't seen in 5 years, 10 years, since I was a kid. All my little cousins that I'm older than, I'm seeing them as teenagers or older now. And it kind of like, I'm like, wow, and my cousin, he was kind of like mad, like, bro, like fucking, none of the family comes around unless it's like a funeral or something, unless it's like someone has to die or something like that. And I'm like, I felt what he was saying, because it was like, at that point, with your family and they're really going through it, the last thing you want to do is be like, oh, like reciprocate the energy. I just kind of, wanted to give him some light, like be that emotional support. I don't want to be, all sob and shit, So I was just telling him, bro, like we all got lives to live, bro. And that's kind of what makes us kind of apart, is just like everyone gotta work, everyone gotta support their own families, and we're all part of this big massive family tree. And I was like, bro, for us to all get together, we would need to literally rent out Dodger Stadium or the fucking what is it, SoFi? I don't know if it's the Staples anymore, but we literally need a fucking football field for all of us, literally all of us. It took a whole section, a third of the fucking church, for all of us to be there. I mean, most of it family, very, very few friends. I say you could count on two hands the friends that were there. Excluding that, all family, all related, cousins, aunts, uncles, all that shit, siblings. So I was just telling my cousin, it's just life has a way of fucking kind of separating everybody, but that's the beauty of it. Even though it's sad, yeah, we gotta connect, because the sad part is my tia Pati passed away. The bright side of it though is that everyone came together, and even my cousin said it himself, like, yo, my tia Pati, she would be happy that this many people are here. That's how much she affected everyone's lives, that everyone came out. I haven't seen my cousin Babes. Babes is like 10 years or older than me. Babes might be like 15 years older than me. And fucking, he's gray haired now. I remember when he was young, I remember he would always visit my grandma. And I saw people I haven't seen in a long ass time. And it was kind of like shocking to me how, life moves, and my one of my good cousins, KO, I've rapped about him in my songs before. He has a kid now with his girl. We weren't friends, like friends, but she fucking stayed. We went to school together, you know what I mean? We went to middle school and then high school together. Same thing, I guess, with her sister. I didn't even know they were sisters, really. Or I don't know. Maybe I don't know if that's what it was, but I know her. She's fucking. She's family now, which is crazy. I would have never thought growing up, that we would be like fucking family at this point. You know what I mean? Is wild. I don't even really know how they connected. That's a whole long story. I'm not gonna get into. Probably a whole episode that it would be uncomfortable. I'm probably not gonna speak on that, but my tia Pati was awesome. And I remember when my tío Angel was living with her, he was growing at her backyard and shit. I don't know how he didn't get busted, but he literally had like a dozen weed plants, like big as fuck, like just chilling in the backyard and shit. I don't even know how you could do outdoor grow operations without the helicopter seeing it. It's pretty obvious you got some weed plants. Very distinctive. You know what I mean? But I remember recording 795 EP, Mufasa's EP there, Soul Searching. We recorded in the garage. And I remember just my tío Angel and Nono, he's like a family friend. He would encourage us like, bro, this is dope shit. Like what you guys are doing is fucking dope. Like keep going. He would always encourage us. He was always, they were always like supportive of us. And I just thought that was really cool because like that's what family's for, bro. When it comes to like this whole music shit, doing music is cool. You know what I mean? I know how to maneuver through things. But when it's your blood telling you to keep going and shit like that, that adds an extra battery. Like boom, like there's no slipping from this shit now. Like, my tío Edgar was asking if I still made music. I think my tío Eric, he makes beats. He lives in Downey, but I gotta connect with him. Actually, I gotta see what's up with his SoundCloud because I'm gonna hit him up, see what's good. Edgar, I think my tío Edgar was telling me that Eric, he produced for like, I think Vinny Paz was asking him for beats and I don't know if it was like Raekwon or Ghost, but like notable names, bro, that I was like, wow, you know what I mean? If fucking Eric could get beats to Vinny Paz, I know I could fucking do a song with Jay-Z easy, bro. Or Mock Hami, bro. Come on now. Where Mock at? Mock, I sent you a beat, bro. What's happening? I didn't hear it. You could, I wasn't gonna charge you. That wasn't an invite for you to be like, yo, I'm gonna use it, and me be like, yo, if you want to use it, Mike, it's gonna be 555. You know what I mean? No, bro. Like that was all UG, but it didn't even gotta be. Ain't gotta do nothing with nothing. You know what I mean? So, it was really cool just seeing all my family members again. Sammy, my cousin Sammy, I used to be at his house all the time. He got big and shit. I was like, damn, it looked like everybody got big or something like that except me, bro. I'm the only one that lost a shitload of weight. That's probably one of the reasons why maybe Emma doesn't remember me now, which fucking is saddened me. When I thought I was gonna go up to Emma and be like, I thought it was gonna be like a rejoice, like a reconnect, a reunion type thing. But when like Emma, I could see like she didn't even really recognize me, and I told her, I was like, yo, you remember me? And she was just like, she just shook her head. And that kind of broke my heart. Like that just kind of like, it kind of hurt. It even hurts now, like just like rethinking it or whatever the fuck. But I was like, you don't remember going on the train, us hanging out. She spit a whole rap to me at Taco Bell. I remember I was with her. I took her to go eat at Taco Bell. And she told me something like, "Hey, I made a rap or something like that," and I'm like, "Oh, you rap?" Because she knew I rap. Like, she knew I would make music. She seen me writing music and shit. I had a whole bunch of Vine videos with her that I fucking can't even watch anymore because Vine took a whole shit. I should have put them joints on Twitter, but I'm like, "Yo, you rap?" I'm like, "Let me hear you spit." And she's like, "I'm on a train, I'm in pain, I'm insane," or something like that. I was like, "What the fuck?" And like, even two ladies that were like there eating at Taco Bell, they heard and they were dying. They were like, "Whoa." I was like, literally, I could have used that to like talk to these girls and shit like that. But I was just like, wow. Like, I don't know if she saw me rapping or like see me make music and it made her like, want to do her own rap shit. But this is literally her as a little ass kid. And seeing her again, I think Emma now, she's 12. And I remember just telling her, like, "Oh, you don't remember me?" I was like, "Okay, well, when you're older, you're gonna remember." Because I remember as a kid seeing some of my tios and tias that I used to hang out with and not remembering them, but like later on, I'd be like, I don't know, somehow it would jog my memory, like, "Oh shit, I do remember those times where, whatever." But that kind of just makes me think, I want to be in my niece's life more because she don't really have a father figure. I don't know where her father's at. Funny story is, like I said, "What's up?" He's like a deadbeat ass dad, and I remember seeing him saying hi because I'm just cordial like that. You know how I am, just like, "Hey, how's it going?" or whatever. Didn't know who he was. And then my cousin Candace like, "Why'd you say hi to him? What the fuck?" I'm like, who the fuck is that?" They're like, "That's Emma's dad." I was like, "Oh, that's Emma's dad? Okay." I remember going out to the front and be like, "I'm gonna fuck this fool up," or like, that's not really my intention, but I'm gonna be like, "Yo, what's up, bro? Like, when are you gonna like start being a real father instead of like this fuckface dickhead motherfucker that you've been on since day one?" That was something like what I was gonna tell him straight up to his face, but then he was gone. Like, I think I said what's up to him and he bounced. So when I went inside and then it came outside, he was gone. So I was like, "Motherfucker, man." And my sister was like, "Whoa, what were you gonna tell him?" I was like, "Well, I'm probably gonna say something, smack the shit out of him, punch him in his fucking dumb face. Something like that. I don't know. I really don't know." Because when I'm emotional and I get really angry, especially like at that time when I was younger, it could have gone either way, bro. I've literally had people piss their pants from like how mad I was, bro. And that's not no flex. I'm not trying to be the fucking Oogie Boogie man or whatever the fuck. It's just when I get mad, bro. Like, if you think this is like silly shit now, this is like fucking, I go DEFCON 5 or whatever the fuck it is. Or the green light district on motherfuckers when I'm pissed as fuck. That's the side of Serbs I really don't want to show the world. But if it happens, it happens. But now I probably would have handled it different. I probably would have been talked to him, you should probably pay more than $50 a month for child support, because $50 for a child, especially now, don't even fill up the fucking tank, bro. You know what I mean? So if you think about, just a few years ago, 10 years ago, paying $50 for child support, you're pretty much getting away with fucking robbery when you're not in your own child's life. And it's just a whole bunch of bullshit I could get more into, but that's not really about this episode is not really about that. This is just about my tia Pati. So the last time I seen my tia Pati was at my tia Laura's. It was my cousin Jaden's quinceañera. I remember, especially like the last few times I seen my tia Pati, she would always tell me she loved me. She'd hug me and she would like kind of like, I don't know, kind of like not want to be, but she had a real positive energy about her that I really fucked with, that I really enjoyed seeing her, have. And I think that's because maybe she knew she was sick and she kind of wanted to just create a positive space around her. So I remember her telling me she loved me and I told her I loved her. That's literally probably like the last thing I said to her. "I love you too." And I could have went and saw her at the hospital, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I think it was calm day or something like that. We just didn't end up going to the hospital and taking that visit to go see her. But the last thing I wanted to see is my tia in a hospital bed. Like that would have fucked my whole mind up, bro. Just the last memory of my tia, dying. Nah, man. Like I have a really enjoyable last moment with her. Same thing with Jaime, bro. The last time I saw Jaime, he was fucking that's my cousin. He passed away when he was 19. And the last time I seen Jaime, he was making fun of me. Like I literally remember the exact thing. He was like, Jaime was always funny. He was a fucking clown, bro. I loved Jaime. And I remember Jaime telling me, I remember just giggling like a little girl to his stupid fucking jokes. And I remember like him just stopping at some point, looking at me and be like, what's up with you? Is a leprechaun tickling your balls or something? And that shit killed me, bro. I was literally laughing so hard. And he just had like a distinctive laugh. And I'll forever remember that. And that was the last time I seen him. And when he passed away, they were showing pictures of his body on the floor. I'm like, I don't want to see that shit, bro. I'm glad I didn't see it, because I could have saw it and it was like gruesome. Not like bloody and crazy gory, but it just wasn't. It was bad. You know what I mean? So I'm glad the last memories I had with Jaime and my tia Pati were good. They were cherishable memories that I'll never forget. And I really dislike funerals. I respect them for what they are. We're all there to pay our respects and all that. But just seeing my family members in pain and crying and shit like that, I really hate that shit. I really don't like that aspect of just being there. Everyone is just in sorrow and mourning, you know what I mean? And not that I wasn't, I totally was too, but it didn't hit me like it hit some of my other family members. So, right before we buried her, my Tío John, he kind of like lit this kind of fire in me where he was like, they had a whole, like a trio, not a mariachi band, but like a banda there. And they were singing songs, and that shit, like just listening to the songs that I guess they were songs that my tia liked, it really was making me emotional. And especially when my tío brought out his cousin, I don't know where he's from, but they're related, and he's for sure from Mexico. But he sang the song from León. I think León, the capital, is called like the cradle of the León is called the cradle of revolution, because a lot of revolutionaries were decapitated there, fighting for our freedom. So we literally come from a rich ethnic cultural background that as soon as my tío was explaining it to me, I was like, you know what I mean? It lit a fire in me, and I don't know what, but I really want to go there. I really want to go to León now. I've been to Cancun. I do want to visit my grandma again, but my grandma's coming over, so that kind of like, I've been to Mexicali all my life, you know what I mean? It's cool, don't get me wrong. I do want to go back there. The tacos I eat is fucking bomb. I do want to do a Herbs and Serves review again at some point, but I really do want to see León. I do want to visit my family members over there. I know for sure we got family members. And then I also do want to visit my grandpa in the rancho. I forgot where he's from. But my dad's only been there only one time in his whole life. I think my dad's been in León. I don't know. I got to ask him. But literally they were singing like this song, like it was like them singing about León and just shit about, the area where they're at, the times and all that. I thought that was really dope, man. And it was kind of like a sad but like a beautiful farewell to my tia. And I saw the whole burial, from them, putting the cement, the concrete to the dirt, to everything, to them pounding the fucking the grass into the dirt again, and putting all her flowers that they got for her on over her grave. I was probably like one of the only ones to watch the whole thing. Everyone else was talking and laughing, telling stories and stuff like that, but I was there from beginning to end. It probably was like, I don't know, 2 hours. The whole burial probably took 2 hours with the eulogy and stuff like that. And I don't know what kind of possessed me to watch the whole thing, but I did want to like just stay there. Something just kind of compelled me to just stay there and just be with my tia as long as I could, you know what I mean? And afterwards, we want to go visit my grandpa. So my grandpa and my tia, my great grandma Elvira, Theo Willie, and now my grandpa, my great grandma, Theo Willie, and my tia Pati are all in the same cemetery. So it's not that, it's kind of it's a little bit of a walk, but it's not that far. Like it's not from like one end of the cemetery to the fucking to the next. It was actually pretty close. So I went to go see my grandpa again. I was with my grandma, my dad, and my sister, and it was really cool because it was just like being. I want to see my grandpa more, and now that my tia's there now, it's probably gonna be like more of a thing for me to go and see my tia, my grandpa, my Theo Willie, and my great grandma over there. It's just kind of far. It's going to West Covina, you know what I mean? I'll probably tell my dad so we could both go over there and shit. But it was really cool seeing my grandpa again. And we definitely got to hit that bitch with WD-40 because it looks like it wants to give out, start cracking and shit. Definitely not going to let that happen. So afterwards, my Theo John, he had a whole big potluck at his house. He had conchas, pizza, sandwiches, arroz, beans, birria, fucking pan dulce, like all kinds of food, beer, which, I don't drink, I don't do nothing anymore. Y'all know that. So I didn't partake in that. Then they didn't bring any Coke Zeros or nothing. So I was like, what the fuck am I going to drink, bro? Like, all they had was water. But, when you want to eat, you want to have a little nice something, to go with it, a zero sugar, a diet, something. So I didn't know that Wild Cherry Pepsi is like 12 points on Weight Watchers. That's fucking crazy, bro. That's got to be a shitload of corn syrup in that motherfucker. So, it was cool. Oh, and they had chicken wings. They had fucking potatoes and shit. That shit was off the chain. So I just got, a slice of pizza, chicken wing, a little piece of sandwich, Squirt. I love Squirt. That's probably like my favorite soda of all of them shit. Squirt, Fanta. Those are my sodas of choice for sure. And then like cherry, either Dr. Pepper or Pepsi. And my Theo, he had like all his helpers, like all his like maids and shit. I'm like, yo, my Theo's fucking rich, man. He got a big ass pool, a jacuzzi on the side of his house. He had bathrooms, a shower, fucking what is it? Sinks. And it was just crazy. I was like, bro, like that's when you have money, you could tell, bro. Like it's gonna show somewhere. Like there's like a tile sirena, a tile image of a siren in his pool. I know that's new. I was like, wow. I wanted to take a picture of it. But as I'm there, man, my cousins, they were kind of making me uncomfortable because they were like drinking and shit. I didn't want to say nothing, but it does make me uncomfortable, like seeing them drink and getting all fucked up and shit. But I understand. You know what I mean? It's a funeral. I remember when Jaime passed away, bro, there was cases and cases of Modelos like along my grandma's house. Like when my grandpa died and when Jaime passed away, it was non-stop drinking and smoking going on, bro. People were getting fucked up. But these are my little cousins, bro. Like I seen them in Pampers type shit, bro. And I really didn't enjoy. It really made me uncomfortable seeing them like drink around me and shit. But it was just cool because I was like telling them jokes and I was just fucking around with them and stuff. But I understand it. You know what I mean? We're going through shit, and how I feel about escapism is like, yeah, you get all fucked up, but then you got to face reality. You know what I mean? At some point, you got to be sober enough to be aware of your emotions, and that's all I get uncomfortable with, because it's like it's an escape. It's something you escape to make yourself feel better, but then it becomes an addiction. So, but I shouldn't talk that much shit, because I've fucking smoked out my cousins at least one time, if not one or two times. So I shouldn't be the bearer of fucking bullshit or whatever. So that's all it is with me, bro. I really don't. I'm really uncomfortable with it, because some of them are underage. They're a few years into being of age, but they're not. You get what I mean? So besides that, it was just I just love seeing my family again. It really was sad saying goodbye to my tia Pati, but she's always going to be here with me. Now she's up there watching over me with all my other elders, relatives, friends, family. And I do want to get a picture of her. I still need a picture of Jaime too, and all that on the altar, on the ofrenda that we have. But, I just wanted to give this space to shout out and celebrate my tia Patricia's life. She's passed away, but she's always going to be in my heart, in my memory, and a legend, just like Tio Willie, just like my grandpa, just like my great-grandma Elvira. And with that, this is the God's Hour. Rest in peace to my tia. Love you, tia, forever.
Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now.
While the angels fly over my headstone.